NASCAR is a sport riddled with traditions, almost to a fault in some aspects. The people who support what NASCAR is often were the same people supporting NASCAR's past. This is largely because NASCAR in the last decade plus have overwhelmingly struggled to bring in newer and by extension younger viewers. However, for better or for worse, NASCAR has seemingly staked their claim into fighting and clawing their way back into relevancy. Back in 2003, the most boring driver in many casual fans' eyes had won the championship in one of the most boring ways: consistency. Matt Kenseth drove for the number 17 DeWalt Ford Taurus for Roush Fenway, or Roush at the time. Matt was in the midst of his fourth full season in the Cup Series competition. In 2000, his rookie campaign, Kenseth had one win, four top fives, 11 top tens, and led 162 laps and finished 14th. His second year, 2001, he had no wins, the same four top five, two less top tens, with 9. However, he finished 13th. In 2002, he became a star in the Roush Fenway barn with 5 wins, 11 top fives, 19 top tens, almost 600 more laps led than the 100 from 2001. Despite this uptick in performance, he only came away with an 8th points finish. In 2003, Mackenzie cut his laps led in half, had 4 less wins, and yet he won the championship in 2003. Fans were less ecstatic about his boring win. Talks about change in the format was nothing new, but this seemed to kickstart the process. 2004 was the first of the NASCAR chase format. Honestly, the first incorporation of the chase went extremely well. Although many fans despised them leaving the traditions of NASCAR, they still tuned in. NASCAR would go on to tinker with the format for years to come. From 2004 to 2013, NASCAR continuously decreased in viewerships, even in the chase, which is the complete opposite of what NASCAR wanted. NASCAR canned the chase for a new playoff format that we have today. NASCAR decided to trash all the confusion of the old format and opted for a simple approach. If only. NASCAR has created a system of crowning a champion that is easily the most confusing, strange, and honestly undeserving way to do so. The base of this format is that 16 cars come into the last 10 races. How to become one of those 16 is to first and foremost win. Since Matt Kenseth's championship, NASCAR has put, honestly, an overemphasis on winning. If you win, you are automatically locked into the playoffs. If you don't get a win in the first 26 races, you can still get in with points. Last year, we had one driver get in on points, and he was second in points. That's unacceptable. In what world in motorsports does the second place driver in points worry about making a 16 driver playoffs in the 26 of 36 race season? If Kurt Busch didn't drop out of the playoff competition due to a career-ending injury and a single car spin backing up into the outside wall in 2022 in the newest and latest next-gen car, Ryan Blaney would have missed the playoffs. While typically I call this an outlier, however, with this new next-gen car in the field, it's not crazy to think that the top teams may not be able to expand the gap the same way it was in history's past. I have issue with the next step NASCAR has to take here. As discussed before, the format in place is extremely flawed. However, NASCAR spent so much time tweaking the chase/playoff format, honestly for the worst, that I worry that if they ever adjust it again, it would have even more credibility issues. When one of NASCAR's best drivers in history claims that the championship isn't as valuable as in the past, that's an issue. Kevin Harvick's only championship is in this format, and he doesn't care. In no world would a driver in that 2003 season have Ryan Newman's season rather than Matt Kenseth's. The biggest issue with the format is the overemphasis on winning. There are too many variables in motorsports to rely on Game 7 moments. I'm sure you heard it before, but Game 7 moments only matter when typically most series only go to 5. The ideal of a final race to decide the championship is outrageous. If NASCAR wants to keep the elimination format, the final round would have to be akin to the rest with 3 races. In my playoffs, it would be 3 rounds instead of 4 of the current format. A byproduct of that would be 9 races instead of 10. Each round, each person to advance would be solely on points. Playoff points will transfer into the next round. That way we can eliminate the overemphasis on winning. There's already emphasis on winning because drivers get significantly more points than anyone else in the race. Also, these are world-class athletes. They want to win 10 out of 10 times. Really good jockeys have to encourage a driver to go all out. They often have to rein them in. In this format, Game 7 moments happen naturally, making them actual Game 7 moments. Each round, 4 drivers will be eliminated as in the 2014 playoffs, but the big difference is that there will only be 12 drivers. 16 drivers are way too many. Only 8 of those drivers are actual championship contenders. So I still believe 12 is too many, but in line with not overhauling the playoff system too much. 12 is a much better line. If you are in a top ride, i.e. Hendrick, Joe Gibbs, Penske, you have no excuse for missing the playoffs. This year was slightly different because the drivers were more than normal. However, on average, every good driver should get in, and some. We often have drivers not even in good rides filling up spots for no reason. Why is Michael McDowell filling up a playoff spot when he spent most of the year worrying about if he was going to stay top 30 in points? With only 12 playoff drivers, significant drivers who are in top spots will miss out. That way, the playoff cut line is a battle between drivers who can realistically compete for the championship by season's end. All in all, it means something to win a championship in today's sport. However, the value has decreased greatly, and that's an issue.